welcome back to Champion the Passion, a weekly pro wrestling podcast where we inspire you to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. I'm your host. My name is Victoria Daisy, and today we're going to be recapping everything that happened last night on Monday Night Raw. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms, and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. But let's dive right into the action, because for the first time in a while, we kicked off Monday Night Raw with a match instead of a segment. So the opening match was none other than main event Jey Uso versus Grayson Waller. Now, this was a great match, okay? Both men are so athletically talented and were able to work so well in the ring together, and truly was such a great opening match. Like, it was so much fun. I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. And of course, in the end, our king Jey Uso took the W. But shortly after he took that W, A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory, and Grayson Waller attacked Jey after the match. Guys, now why? Why did we have to do that? You couldn't have given him a break. But Jey, being the king that he is, proving to us that he can take out literally anybody. He took out A-Town Down Under all by himself. Go off, king. But unfortunately, it didn't last for long, because Gunther, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, his opponent at WrestleMania 41, attacked him from behind. And, you know, Gunther is sticking to his word. I gotta give him that. He said that he was gonna make Jey Uso's life a living hell, and you know what? He's done that. But I think at the end of the day, Jey will come out on the other side victorious. He will leave Vegas as World Heavyweight Champion, and I think some of the booking choices are interesting. I feel like sometimes they want to make Jey look like the baddest man alive, and then sometimes, you know, they just beat him, and I don't know. I think regardless, he's going to walk out of Vegas champion, but of course, it's only a matter of time. Let's move right along into the first segment of the night with Logan Paul. Now, this was interesting. So Logan came out and he could barely speak because the crowd was booing him so loudly the entire time. He said AJ Styles was supposed to come out and call him out, but he beat him to the punch. He was basically yapping about how he's such a big deal, you know, doing his heel thing. Then he got into a verbal and physical altercation with Andrew Schultz, which I thought was hysterical. And then, of course, say his name and he appears, not Joe Hendry, AJ Styles. The Phenomenal One came out to beat the crap out of Logan Paul. And you know what? I am so excited to see how this feud continues to unfold. I hope it leads to a big match at WrestleMania. I think that would be amazing. Obviously, WrestleMania is weeks away next month. I mean, this is absolutely insanity. Now, let's move right along into a tornado tag team match between the New Day and the LWO. So we had Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods against Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio. This was a pretty solid match. I mean, there were some pretty good spots, I do have to say. Obviously, you guys know I have my reservations about both of these tag teams, specifically Rey Mysterio. You guys know I don't like him. And you know what? I just have to defend myself for like 2 seconds. It's okay if I don't like somebody, even if you guys like him. You guys flame me all the time for it. I'm like, it's a free country. I can like who I like and dislike who I dislike. Anyways, so as much as I don't want to keep talking about this match or these men, unfortunately, there's always more, because Chad Gable returned to take out the LWO. He came out in a luchador mask, because if you guys remember, a month ago, he said that he was leaving for a few weeks to go to Mexico to learn the dark arts, right? Or like the lucha, whatever, luchadors. And he came back in a American luchador mask, which was hysterical. And later on in the night, he spoke with Kathy Kelly, I believe, and he denied that it was him. So I'm like, okay, low key, like, okay, guys, here's my little theory. Am I cooking or am I not cooking? Is this the potential beginning of the introduction for Rey Fenix? We know Rey Fenix, first of all, is Penta's brother, IRL. And they are both on Raw. And they're both luchadors. And if Chad is denying that that was him, could it be Rey Fenix? I have no evidence to back that up besides just my thoughts, opinions, and wishful thinking, but you never know. Anyways, in the end, New Day took advantage and won the match. After that, we had a Cody Rhodes segment. Cody started talking about his WrestleMania 41 opponent, John Cena. He said that John Cena is scheduled to be on Raw next week, which is absolutely crazy to have John Cena on a Monday Night Raw. Something that I thought was pretty interesting is that the crowd was extremely split during this segment, not necessarily in regards to Cody Rhodes, but in regards to John Cena. There were split chants. One side was screaming, "Let's go Cena." The other was screaming, "Cena sucks." I mean, it was kind of crazy. Then Cody Rhodes stood on business because he called John Cena out for two things. One, for being on a part-time schedule, and two, for saying that him winning was best for business, because obviously it's not. Cody said that 17 is not going to happen for John Cena because he is going to beat his hero at WrestleMania 41. Cody said, quote, "John, I'm the captain now." And that's pretty much how he ended that segment, which I thought was a gag and a half. Then we move on to a women's match. We had Bayley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Obviously, Bayley is great, but to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Raquel, so I thought the match was okay, to be honest. There were a couple cool sequences, but having Liv and Dom out there kind of messed it up a few times, and I was like, guys, I just want to enjoy the match. But of course, in the end, Raquel Rodriguez won because, I mean, are you going to really have your champion lose? I don't think so. Then we get into a very juicy segment, okay? We had an Io Sky segment. So Io Sky was interviewed by Michael Cole. She said that it's an honor to be at Madison Square Garden. She said that she's excited to face Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, and that's pretty much all she got to say before, say her name and she appears, Nacho Hendry, Bianca Belair. Bianca started off by saying congrats to Io and that she's excited to wrestle Io at Mania. Bianca said she wasn't planning on being ringside last week for the match, so she apologized kind of openly to Rhea for hurting her feelings for being out there ringside. She just wanted to get a glimpse at her future opponent for WrestleMania. And the WWE formula, say her name and she appears, Nacho Hendry, Rhea Ripley. My queen, mommy, Rhea Ripley came out and she was ready to come for blood, okay? She came out clocking, okay? She clocked Bianca. And this is a direct quote from Rhea. She said, "You should have let us handle our business while you handled your own with Naomi and Jade." Ma'am? Oh my God. So, of course, Bianca gets pissed, and so Rhea and Bianca start going at it. And then Io slaps the crap out of both of them. And you know what? You know what I'm smelling? I'm smelling a triple threat incoming. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, nothing was announced last night. And while you could have said, well, that was a short, unnecessary segment, I actually disagree because I think it was necessary for their storyline, even if it was a couple minutes, because now it sets us up for the beginning of this triple threat storyline and this match for Mania. It just needed to happen, so don't get upset. First of all, what did I tell you? Rhea Ripley was going to weasel herself back into this, and I love it. And I think either Bianca or Rhea is going to walk out of Vegas champion. I don't see Io retaining. All right, let's head into the main event. We had a steel cage match between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Now, this was absolute war, okay? Forget War Games. This was War Games. This was the main event of main events for a Monday Night Raw. I mean, this was so freaking good. The crowd was so incredibly split, and New York City definitely brought that energy, okay? MSG showed up and showed out. Both Punk and Rollins were trying their absolute best to make sure that each other wouldn't make it to WrestleMania 41, but, in the end, that didn't happen. And before I get to that, I do have to say that it was really funny because both of them were hitting their finishers left and right, and neither would give up. But if you are watching the video version of this, you can see what t-shirt I'm wearing, and that's a spoiler for what happened. Our tribal chief, the original tribal chief, your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, interfered and ended the match. He went after Rollins, and now, just like the women, I'm smelling a potential triple threat match at WrestleMania. I mean, this is so iconic. the little 10-year-old Shield fan in me is losing her mind. When he came out, I was gagged. And then here's the more gag city part. After Roman was done with Seth, you get a visual. The camera angle is so perfect too. I posted it on my Instagram story if you guys want to go check it out. Paul Heyman got in the ring and was like comforting, hugging CM Punk. And Roman looked pissed and gagged. And he went right into the ring to attack Punk since he's mad that, he's messing with his tribal or with his wise man. Like, hello? And the closing shot for the entire show was everyone laid out on the ground with Roman standing tall, putting his one in the sky. And oh my God. So now I'm thinking, okay, I think it's finally time that Punk cashes in that favor, which is supposed to get him into the main event of WrestleMania, right? Now, I don't know how that's going to happen. I'm going to assume that this triple threat would be the main event of night number 1. Is that what I don't really know what the favor is. I'm really confused. Are we just going to forget about the favor? I don't really know. But I mean, that main event was the most chaotic thing ever. It was so good. I'm going to have to go rewatch it because it was literally amazing. Okay. But let's head into my overall thoughts. So it was a pretty good show. Even though it was 2.5 hours, the content list still felt very short. But I am kind of happy with what we got, to be honest. Now, I do want to talk about something really quickly that is so important for you guys to know, especially if you guys are listening in the States. So the next 3 weeks, I'm not sure about for SmackDown. I'm pretty sure it might be the same for SmackDown, but we've only heard word for Raw. So for the next 3 weeks, so I don't know what dates they are. Let me check on my phone. So March 17th, 24th, and 31st, those next 3 Monday Night Raws will be hosted internationally. I believe next week. Where are they next week? Are they in Spain? I don't remember where they are next week. Italy? I don't know. One of the two. So what they are doing, and I think it's because they're on Netflix and they probably can't, or I'm sure they can. I don't know why they're doing this because I think they're doing it for SmackDown. So because the shows are internationally, we usually get tape delays, which for those who don't know what tape delays are, it's basically when, the time conversion from, let's say, Italy to Florida, which is where I live on the East Coast. I'm just giving a rough estimate. I don't freaking know what I'm even saying. But for example, the show will start at 3 a.m. But of course, they're not going to have the show air at 3 a.m. in the States because that's crazy. So they'll do what's called a tape delay so we can still watch it at the same time as normal, which would be 8 p.m. Eastern. So they're not doing that. They're streaming live. So instead of it being 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, like normal, it's going to be 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. So let me open up my calendar. Okay, so March 17th will be at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. March 24th will be at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And then March 31st will be at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. And then April, 7th, we'll be back in the U.S. for Monday Night Raw and SmackDown and all that stuff. So, a little confusing, I understand. I talked about it more on my Instagram stories if you want to go check that out. Obviously, message me, comment if you have any questions about that or what time that would be for you. So just keep up to date with Netflix and USA Network for that because I believe they're doing that for SmackDown as well, although I haven't heard official word. So I'm not 100% sure yet. It does really suck that they're not doing tape delays. Part of me likes it because then I won't get spoiled regardless because sometimes people will post that are there and then I end up seeing it before the show goes on air. But, I don't know. It's interesting. So as far as the podcast, we'll still keep it the day after. I'm not going to just post the recap, Monday night instead of Tuesday just because it's earlier. It'll still be Tuesday. I'll just probably make more content on Monday night after the show. So, but it probably will be nice to see what it's like, I guess, for the West Coast U.S. residents, I guess, because their Raw and SmackDown starts at 5 instead of 8. So they have their nights open and free, and we don't. So on the East Coast. So anyways, that was a lot of blabbing about time zones and stuff like that. My match of the night was, of course, the main event in a steel cage, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. This was absolutely insane. This was war. This was cinema. This was everything and beyond. This was just truly everything I could have hoped for and more. My segment of the night was Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and the Rhea Ripley segment. Like I said earlier, while it wasn't super long, it was definitely needed in their storyline development as it's pushing us towards a potential triple threat match at WrestleMania 41, which is, of course, what we all want. And overall, I think I'd rate the show a solid 7.5 out of 10. There were some good parts and then some that I didn't care about, but next week should be crazy and we should be fed very nicely because John Cena will be in the house, which is going to be very interesting. I'm very intrigued to see how that all plays out. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode of Champion the Passion. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. Don't forget to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!